It's war. NATO aircraft launched 2 fresh attacks. Terror victims. Thousands of Albanians flee for their lives. The endless war. Last night, NATO launched more massive operations. These were the headlines in the spring of 1999. Death and displacement, war and despair prevail in Kosovo. In fast-moving times, pictures like these are quickly forgotten. Unless you've experienced these scenes firsthand, as Berat has. This 24-year-old Kosovo Albanian is currently writing a speech. He's here in Prizren to participate in a multicultural seminar, which brings together Serbs and Kosovo Albanians, a rare thing.
To engage in the future.
This seminar would not be possible without KFOR. All KFOR soldiers, whether English or American or Swiss, do a great job. They bring us stability and security and support. I believe we still need KFOR.
Swiss Koi soldiers on patrol. Their very presence helps to promote a feeling of security. They make a conscious effort to make contact with local people, for instance here with this shop owner.
The main aim is to establish contact with the locals, and secondly, to find out what's happening around here.
Swiss Koi provides for security in many ways. Often it's not even a question of being armed. These engineers are flushing away dirt and stones so they can keep a better eye on the state of the bridge.
The easiest way for me to find out if the bridge is okay is when heavy vehicles cross it, like now. In this way I can establish whether the bridge is stable, and that works like this. If the road plates rattle when the vehicle drives over them, there's something wrong. But if there are no vibrations, then the bridge is fine and can support any load.
Kosovo is known as a hub for human and drug trafficking, and there are also many small-time criminals. Mobile checkpoints are routinely set up by Swiss Koi, and Berat was also delayed at such a checkpoint on his way from Prizren to Pristina. Checkpoints are useful in finding weapons and stolen goods. The soldiers are familiar with the usual hiding places. Seats, cavities and instrument panels are all searched. Berat is also checked and frisked. Searches are systematic and are also carried out on a large scale. Major checkpoints are referred to by professionals as cages. Dozens of cars at a time can be checked out. The troops use dogs that sniff out drugs. Their refined sense of smell has already helped them to uncover large quantities of concealed goods. The Austrian dog handler knows he can rely on his 4-legged friend. The search is carried out meticulously and precisely, but always respectfully.
It doesn't really affect me, it's just a routine, just like in Switzerland.
The soldiers search Berat in vain. He has nothing to hide. Although it's unpleasant to have people rifling through one's personal belongings, he's not bothered by it.
No, it's not a case of being picked on. It makes us feel safe, because we know that these checkpoints are carried out in our interest.
Time to knock off. The Swiss tanks roll back to Suhareka. Entering Camp Casablanca is like coming home. Today the Swiss have guard duty. Their job's to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Tomorrow it's the Austrians' turn. A hard day's work deserves a good meal. They say the key to a man's heart is through his stomach. The key to high morale among the troops is also good food. While some are already eating their meals, others are still busy in the workshop, because even the best tanks only work well when correctly serviced. The Swiss vehicle park may be small, but quality counts, and it's highly appreciated for special tasks in particular. You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. Even when care is taken, mistakes sometimes happen. In this case, he's hurt his little finger. This is normal. Minor injuries sometimes happen, but major incidents are very rare. He won't be able to work for a few weeks, but even with one less pair of hands, Swiss will continue to fulfill its task. The Swiss Super Puma helicopter is being prepared for a firefighting mission, taking off with its still empty water bag. Before takeoff, the crew discussed the operation with a German colleague. Firefighting flights are the domain of the Swiss contingent.
We have the largest capacity, carrying up to 2,500 litres, whereas the Germans can only carry a maximum of 500 litres. This makes us a lot more efficient.
The Tactical Operations Centre of the Multinational Brigade South in Prizren, the hub of all flight operations. This is where the Swiss G3 Air Captain Alex Glintz coordinates not only the missions of the Swiss Super Puma, but of all air transports. He does this in collaboration with his German and Turkish colleagues. The Swiss pilots have already arrived in their area of operations, 30 kilometers from Prizren as the crow flies. In one go, they empty 2,500 litres right over the smoking sea of flames. The Swisskoi Fire Brigade also supplies German helicopters with water, but these carry 5 times less than the Super Puma.
The Super Puma is currently the largest helicopter here, which means that the number of passengers we can carry together has grown massively. And as these firefighting operations continue, we can put out fires in substantially less time due to the great water-bearing capacity of the Super Puma.
After 2 hours of successful firefighting, the Swiss helicopter returns to base. At KFOR headquarters, many countries have raised their flags. Switzerland enjoys an outstanding reputation among the other nations represented. They're regarded as very capable specialists.
They are militia soldiers, soldiers who are firmly rooted in normal life, which is precisely what we need in an operation such as this, a peace support mission. We need teachers, lawyers, and administrators in uniform, because with their experience, they all naturally enhance our abilities, especially in this phase of rebuilding a province, to provide very competent support and advice to the population. So I think their militia status is a plus.
Pristina is not only the seat of KFOR, but also the capital of Kosovo. But over half of the 2 million inhabitants are unemployed, most of them under 25. Berat is one of them. But he's a born optimist and is currently trying to get a job at a radio station.
The future doesn't look bad. I think that I will work as a journalist and hope that Kosovo will finally get its independence. Well, that's my dream.
Kosovo, an independent state. This dream is shared by people here in the government building. But for the moment, Parliament and government are putting their trust in KFOR to provide stability.
It's important that Switzerland has a contingent here, no matter what size. The Swiss flag and uniform mean much to the inhabitants here, because many of our fellow citizens live in Switzerland. And Switzerland will remain, and always remain, a part of Kosovo's process towards independence, because it's a role model for us.
It's not only politicians and military personnel who are banking on Switzerland's involvement in Kosovo. For the UN, Swisskoi is an important stability factor, especially in supporting KFOR.
Well, I think that what Switzerland is doing is already quite outstanding. I think that the multi-task force in the south has its full support and functions well because they are there, and that is highly significant.
Apart from logistics, Swisskoi also carries out hands-on security operations, such as here in the Serb enclave of Sopije. Unfortunately, it appears that the soldiers will have to keep up their guard in these areas. As for Berat, the one thing he wants his family to avoid at all costs is living through another war. He also wants his mother to keep smiling. Berat is still firmly focused on his personal goals, even though this is sometimes difficult in Kosovo. A job, independence and a peaceful existence between Kosovo Albanians and Kosovo Serbs.